A real cold open again, this time for the big quote-unquote match of the night. You can't go wrong with seeing the bad guy. Raw will be Razor's house in the coming weeks, and it'll be great, you'll see. More Virgil with his actually good theme song for a jobber. It's so surprising, but then again, Jim Johnston. Lock-up exchanges, and I say jobber, but Virgil was a lower mid-carder more than anything. He could get a bit of offense in matches, and had a character years ago. I'd even say Razor may be giving too much to Virgil at the beginning. And I love Savage trying to make it sound as if the Razor chants are for Virgil. You're not fooling anyone. We have ears. But then again, you have to give the babyface the chance to make the stories have sense, even if it hurts the product cognizance with the crowd. It's like if the commentators during McIntyre and Cody's 3 Stages of Hell match didn't recognize that McIntyre was getting cheered more. You can ignore, but don't try to make it sound like it's the opposite reaction happening. This is a slow match. We've got little going on and mostly rest holds while padding time a bit until the ending sequence. The Razor's Edge, of course. It's lovely as always, and potentially the most protected Impact finisher. Yup, Gonzalez was still there. Thankfully only a 1-minute match. I don't actually know what the audience thinks. They definitely know that this is fake anyway when they see something this dumb, but like, do they just think that this is useless? Or were they maybe truly intimidated? This was the 90s. People weren't that gullible, right? We are out here trying to make a Sherry and Luna proxy feud happen. Again, it's kind of stupid, it's a proxy feud actually, when you have the quality that these two could have, and the promo delivery of a Luna Vachon. I truly don't know why they did it that way, and then have Luna feign into nothing more than a valet for Bam Bam. And again, more Tatonka. Okay. Was there really no one else, or what? I already said last week, Tatonka was aimless. This squash does start differently and has more aggression from the heel at the beginning, but who even thought that Tatonka wouldn't win? Again, the fact they didn't have anything for Tatonka, when they already struggled having some upper echelon talents, why is that a fact? Squashes for Tatonka basically last around 3 minutes, always have the same-ish structure. Tatonka takes a bit of offense, Tatonka up, and done with a Samoan drop, which still looks nice, but this is it. And here's the match for Money Inc. Let's see if it can be as good as last week's longest effort with the IRS and Scott Steiner match. Right, I forgot the Beverlys look like this. The answer is going to be no. Look, Mike Enos and Wayne Bloom are not the Steiners. The match starts a bit brawly, but the crowd is out of it, because, I mean, they can cheer for neither team. Both are heels, and you have no real build for what the Beverlys did, especially for the crowd, because it was immediately on the same day. Yes, this is taped. The Beverlys are the ones working heel and Money Inc. face. This is so weird, but this is something the WWF does. When a more established team faces more heels, they usually act as the faces in the match. A bit weird, but it's there. It will happen with Owen Hart and Yokozuna later in 1995. Money Inc. were easy heat magnets though, and I don't really get why you try to get them to play face when they definitely can get heat easily. And yet they're playing defensive for most of it, and they get tags that happen after much more offense and cheap moves by the Beverlys, at least in the first half. And then the philosophy of the match changes after the break, and we don't know how. It's unfortunate, but this is the dynamic that the match should have more than the one before the break. Champions are not underdogs. You know, I usually am a proponent of longer matches, but this wasn't it for me. The action is plodding, the wrestlers, they're not bad, but the match philosophy is off, and it's unfortunate. I like the finish though, simple but effective, and it's a callback from last week and the action that led to this match, but there's little theatrics here honestly. Just a pin, and gone for Money Inc. It almost felt like they couldn't really be bothered. And can you blame them? Bret Hart. Now, we do have the weakest part of him, his promos. Now, I don't think Bret is awful at mic work. I think his work in 1996 and 1997 is fantastic. I think the script and how he was presented at this time is the main issue as to why his promos fall flat at this time. He had to always present himself as an underdog, but he wasn't that at this point. He is a 2-time Intercontinental Champion, multi-time Tag Champ, and the fucking WWF Champion 2 weeks ago. This is a stupid take. Just because Vince couldn't take him seriously because he was smaller than most wrestlers Vince pushed into WWF, that doesn't mean this is what we as an audience believe. Bret does call his earlier losses of titles, and I love that, and Bret at this point, he's 35. You can't be an underdog after 8 years in the company. I am beating on this point because it's really stupid. There's a call out to Luger in this promo too because of him knocking Bret out before Mania. It's nice because it gives some structure to this as well. I don't think this is really a bad promo, it's just, again, the character that Bret has to follow is wrong for his strengths. He's the best there is, was, and ever will be. But he's an underdog character? This doesn't work with what he shows us in the ring every time. There's always that little intensity that Bret Hart has when talking about certain things. The finish of the promo is great. Him talking about Hogan, Yoko, and him wanting to get straight back to the top and get back his WWF title, this is nice because of his intensity at that point. I'm sure he still thought that Hogan would be able to play nice. If only he knew. And we have a Bigelow squash. I want to talk about Bam Bigelow a bit. He's got that raw power, and he is a great big man. Go check him in ECW, he's great. Also, he's had some good matches in Japan. Overall though, Bam is one thing, consistent to a fault. Okay, I still can't actually tell if this is Matt Bourne, but this doesn't feel like his expressions, so I'll say it's still not him. Usually Matt Osborne, okay, for his full name, Matt Osborne, has more expressions and goes deeper into Matt Deranged. Can we just get to the finish, please? Okay, there we go, headbutt, and let's move on and finish this. If only Bam didn't use the headbutt, maybe he wouldn't have died from an overdose at 45, maybe. Why? I'm not against the idea of the angle, but here you have this stupid character dressed like a monk fighting. This is the main problem I have with this. If he didn't have this character, I wouldn't even be against that. It's just that Vince has an obsession to make characters even when they're not needed. And that's the show. 1 week. That's what we got as an average week. Only one. Because we are back to subpar territories here. This time, the one match on the card wasn't even good. Yeah, I know there were 5 matches, but no, there was only one match and a bunch of squashes. The promo slot did go to Bret Hart, and without the ending sentence, it was weak, but again, think of this as something that is more the Booker's fault than Bret's one, because we know Bret can cut promo. Look at 96 and 97 for proof. He just needed some adversity and a character change to have him be more confident and have the WWF believe that he is too. Other than that, appearances from Friar Ferguson and Giant Gonzalez, they're not going to lead you to a good show. This is a 2.25 out of 10. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode still. Next week will be a bit more eventful with some real talent on the card, a bit everywhere up and down. So stay tuned folks, this one is better. I hope you also enjoyed the new presentation. I'm always trying to improve the show, and it came with some graphical changes in my opinion, and here's my attempt at it. This is also a way for me to fight copyrights better. I'm glad to say though that the WrestleMania IX video got unclaimed, and you can watch it anytime and anywhere again. With that said, take care everyone, I'll see you next week for the next video, same time, same place.